All I can tell y'all is that it's about to go down.
Yo. All right.
Welcome to Southeastern, Minnesota's #1 podcast for high school sports. This is Tiger Nation and Beyond with your host, straight out of Stewartville, Adam Peterson.
Hey, what's up, Tiger Nation? Welcome into Tiger Nation and Beyond. This is season number 5, episode number 27. I apologize, it's been a couple of weeks since I recorded a podcast, but the NFL asked me not to do it on Super Bowl Sunday, so I had to delay it an extra week. I guess they were worried about how many fans I was going to be taking away from Rihanna, but we are back, and I am so excited to run down a lot of things that have happened over the last couple of weeks. We'll get it rolling. I have to go back all the way to, I believe it was February 6th, Monday. Girls gymnastics was at home against La Crescent. Unfortunately, no results, but I'm going to try to do this in chronological order. The next night was Tuesday, February 7th. Boys basketball was taking on the Rochester Lured Eagles. Stewartville boys were coming in at 14-4 against the 9-11 Lured Eagles. Stewartville led by 14 at the half. They extended that by 6 over the last 18 minutes. The Tigers would win this one 70-50. Their 13th win in the last 14 games, which is incredible. Henry Cheddar led the way, 16 points, 5 rebounds. Brady Pickett, what a night for the senior, 10 points for him. Parker Wong and 9 points, 9 rebounds, and one just incredible dunk. I think you saw me post it on mine. I said cleared for takeoff, Parker Wong, and it was awesome to see that. I love to see the highlight reel dunks. Caleb Jansen, zippy, 7 points, 5 rebounds for him. Jason Schindler had 7 points, 4 rebounds. Max Barnes, the senior, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Tegan Malone had 6 points, 5 rebounds. That took us to that same night. Girls basketball was on the road. We were taking on the Rochester Lured Eagles. I was actually at this game because it was a big game, and Crystal was going home to let the dog out, so at least one of us was able to let Griffey out and not keep him in the cage all day. So I was able to attend this one. Very excited as Stewartville 19-2 overall, Lured 19-3. We faced off earlier this season in Stewartville, and it was one of the Tigers' tougher games, if you ask me. I think Vivica Breton is outstanding. They have Ella Hopkins. She's a tall girl that's skilled. This one on the road would be no different. Our Lady Tigers actually were down 29-25 at the half. It was 45-39 Eagles with 7:36 to go before Savannah Hadeen hit a shot. I think it was down low, and then Schindler had a rebound and put back. Hadeen buried a 3, and then Keely Steele got a rebound and cleaned it up with two of her own. Tigers went on a 9-2 run. We took a 48-47 lead with 2:39 to go. Free throws down the end and some solid rebounding from Our Lady Tigers helps Stewartville win this one 56-49. Let's go. Finished the game on a 17-4 run to win this one by 7. Just a huge performance. I mean, they need to be tested like this if we're going to have a run in the playoffs, and the Eagles gave it to us, and boy, did Our Lady Tigers deliver. Keely Steele stepped up big time for us. The senior, 17 points on 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 7 from three-point land. She had 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. We needed her to deliver, and she did just that. Savannah Hadeen, also another big night for the junior. 14 points, 6 rebounds for her. Audrey Schindler, the freshman, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, including one where she just measured a girl up and swatted it. I think you could even, if you were to go back and watch the video from Lured, you can hear me yell, "Oh!" I go crazy. I love the big blocks. Haley Strum, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals for her. Ella Theobald, 4 points, 5 rebounds, 1 block. JC Rath, 2 points, led the team in rebounds and assists. She had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and I have to say that what you don't see on the stat sheet is where I think it made the biggest difference. Ella Hopkins, the first time we played her, we kept her in pretty good check. She did have an outstanding first half and maybe the first 7 or 8 minutes of the second half. I think she went over 23 points, but I really believe it was JC Rath's defense on Ella Hopkins down that last 6 or 7 minutes that was able to kind of shut her down, keep her in check, and allowed Our Lady Tiger offense to make that run that we needed. So I have to put a hats off to JC Rath and her ability, her athleticism down low to keep Hopkins in check. So awesome to see the Lady Tigers not only get tested. So now you've seen them get tested against Goodhue. They were down and they came back to win that one big. And then they were down to the Lured Eagles. Vivica Brett and Ella Hopkins had outstanding games, but Our Lady Tigers, that depth, that cohesiveness, just over the course of 36 game minutes, we showed again that it's the Lady Tigers who are going to be very, very difficult to beat in the coming weeks ahead. That moves us on. That same night, busy night for Tiger Nation, Stewartville had a wrestling triangular. I'm trying to think. Yes, it was Triton. It was Stewartville, Triton, and then Fillmore Central, Lanesboro, Mayville, Canton, all kind of band together. So Stewartville took on Fillmore Central Lanesboro first, and this one was an interesting matchup. It was at 106 pounds, Brolin Steer would get the forfeit. Quade Mullenbach would win at 113 pounds. He had a major decision, 13-5. Hunter Karnitz, it says that he won by fall. I don't have the time. That's at 120 pounds. Eli Shy had a pin over Ashton Newman at 124. So that put us up right away, 24-0. Jace DeYoung got the win at 138 pounds. It was a 2-0 decision. Lucas Larson at 145 pounds also had a 2-point decision. This one was 6-4. Tanner Elson at 152 pounds had a 9-2 decision. That put us ahead far enough. Anthony Nelson, though, we would need him to come up with some big team points, and he did for us, as we had plenty of forfeits and losses kind of between that 152 and 195 range. Anthony Nelson got the pin for us in 40 seconds. That gave us enough that when we forfeited the heavyweight match that we would still win. Stewartville does 37-33. We would then take on the Triton Cobras, and it was a fantastic meet for Stewartville. Brolin Steer, major decision, 12-0 at 106 pounds. Hunter Karnitz at 120 pounds won by forfeit. So did Reed Rinn at 126 pounds. Jace DeYoung at 138 won by fall in 2 minutes 15 seconds. Lucas Larson at 145 had a major decision, 9-1 over Cole Cadota. 152, Isaac Prokaski had a forfeit. Braden Steer at 182 also had a forfeit. Anthony Nelson, you heard me, he said came up big in that first match of the triangular. He did it again, had another pin in the third period. 4:13 was the official time at 195. And then Isaac Queasley got the win by pin with just 12 seconds to go in the first period. Stewartville Wrestling would absolutely roll in this one. 50-24 was the final. And listen to this. After racking up those two dual wins, head coach Heath Bakken for Stewartville racked up his 100th career dual win as head coach for Tiger Nation with those wins. And gotta say a big congratulations to Coach Bakken and the wrestling program for reaching that amazing milestone. I know Coach Bakken came on the podcast in season 4 to kind of break down the wrestling team. Great to see him back in the program that he's building. You see more guys running out there in weight classes, and hopefully the youth program continues to build into our varsity program, because the less forfeits you have, the better those team scores are going to look for our Tigers. So clean sweep for Stewartville at home in that triangular. That moves us on. The next game, boys basketball was in action. Stewartville versus Broda Mazeppa. Don't ask me the date. I forgot to write it down. Just a few notes here. Stewartville would take on the Cougars. I know the last time they played, it was a tough game. Well, Stewartville was up 10 at the half. The Cougars would come back. They actually took the lead, but then a timeout with about 15 seconds to go. Stewartville had the ball on our sideline, I think right by our bench. I don't know if Coach Liga drew it up like this, but it didn't matter. Tegan Malone knocks down a three-pointer with just 7 or 8 seconds to go. It would put Stewartville up by 1, and that was the difference, as the Tigers would win this one 61-60. Just a huge shot for Malone. Ice water in his veins. We needed him to come through in the clutch, and he did just that. Henry Cheddar, 16 points, 3 rebounds. He knocked down a three-pointer. Parker Wangan, 13 points, 6 boards. Tegan Malone, 11 points, 2 rebounds. He had 2 threes. None bigger than that game winner with the clock ticking down. Caleb Bancroft had a good game, 11 points, 6 rebounds. Jason Schindler, 6 rebounds for him. Aiden Helder, 6 points, 1 rebound. Max Barnes had a three-pointer as well as 4 rebounds. That moves us on to, I believe that was 14 wins out of the last 15 games for the boys. They don't quote me, but I thought I said 13 out of 14 the last game, so that would make this 14 out of 15. That would move us to Friday, February 10th. Girls basketball was on the road against Broda Mazeppa. It was a 24-point lead by halftime for Stewartville. We rolled in this one. 50-point win, as it was Old Lady Tigers. Starters were out early in the second half. They've got a lot of the bench players in, a lot of minutes. Love to see that. Final score, 79-29. We had 4 girls in double figures. None played better than Audrey Schindler. 16 points, 4 of 5 from three-point land. I put out that little highlight video. I'm testing these computer programs I have. I thought Schindler played fantastic. There was actually 1 three-pointer. It was her last shot, I believe she made. She hit it. The net didn't even look like it moved. The girl is fantastic. The superstar, Audrey Schindler. Love watching her. Keely Steele hit 3 threes on her way to 13 points. She led the team with 5 assists. She's been doing great in 2 categories, steals and assists. And a lot of times when she gets those steals, she'll find, Strum usually is out and running, or she'll find a running partner. And I love the way that she's been such a glue player for this team, doing whatever's needed, whether she needs to score like she did in the Leward game. I know she's played outstanding defense all year. This game, she hit 3 threes. just incredible what Keely Steele has provided as a senior this year for the Lady Tiger. A huge reason why we've been so successful. Haley Strum, speaking of which, of why we're so successful, the senior, 12 points, ridiculous amount of steals. Her hands so quick, 7 to be exact. Like I said, she played Coach Raslin one-on-one, and she made him look like a bum, and probably because she would steal the ball every time if I were to try to dribble. Fun to watch her on defense, even better on offense, as that girl is usually in double figures, and she was this night against Zumbrota Mazeppa. Avery Spencer, 4 of 5 from the field for 10 points, 3 steals. Savannah Hedin had 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal. JC Rath, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 1 block. Are you kidding me? I love how she can do a little bit of everything. I told you that JC Rath can play 1 through 5, and she's outstanding. Very versatile, and then her selflessness. I want to make sure I get that right. Her ability to pass the ball out of double teams if she's in the post, or when she gets at high post to look opposite and hit one of our shooters. I just love that about her. Speaking of a player I'm a huge fan of, Ella Theobald led the way in rebounding. She had 8 of those, 3 of those offensive. The way that she sacrifices her body, I mean, she is just pounding down low. She's battling. She's going after all those rebounds. A lot of times, we'll talk about it. She took a charge in one of those home games against, who did we just play? I think Pine Island is when she took that charge. Just incredible the way that she plays and the way that she is willing to sacrifice her body for the betterment of the team. Hannah Martinson played outstanding too. She had 4 assists, which I believe was second on the team. She tied Rath for that. That would move us to Saturday, February 11th. The girls' gymnastics team was actually hosting the Southeast Conference Championships in Stewartville. I don't know when the last time we were able to do that was. But it was in Tiger Nation. Hopefully some of you got out there to support the team. I believe we had, I want to say it was a basketball tournament. I think each of our girls had basketball tournaments. But the team scores I have for you here. Byron ended up winning the Southeast Conference Championship with a score of 139.4. Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa was second, 129.575. Fifth place was, I was counting at where we finished. Fifth place, Stewartville Chatfield Co-op would finish 111.875. I don't have individual scores for that. That would move us on to Monday, February 13th. Boys basketball was taking on Caledonia. I am a huge Brad King fan. His kids are outstanding. I know that when we played in the Dells the last couple of years, that the 2 older boys have been there to ref. And they always come up, they talk to us, they talk to the Shinlars. I mean, just great kids. And Brad King, you couldn't find a classier coach than him. So he's as respected as they come, including on this podcast and in this household. Stewartville led this one at halftime, 47-32. We continued to extend our lead throughout the game, ended up winning this one by 27. The boys put up 91 points. 91-64 was the final score. Stewartville moves their record to 17-4 overall. Caledonia at 500 at just 10-10. 3 Tigers in double figures led by Tegan Malone, 17 points. He knocked down 4 3-pointers. Henry Cheddar had 14. Jason Schindler hit 3 from downtown on his way to 13 points. Aiden Helder had 9 points. He hit 1 from downtown. Parker Wangen with 8. Caleb Jansen with 8. Ian Hoot 7. Max Barnes had 5 points. Brady Pickett had 4. Jace Klug had 3. So really balanced scoring from the Tigers. And, really it seems like they're hitting their stride. You've always heard them talk about their defense is what's going to win them a lot of games. That's what Coach Liga preaches. And now their offense is coming together, being able to score 91 points against, Caledonia is usually known for being pretty solid. But the Tigers have just been looking fantastic as of late. Speaking of which, February 14th, back-to-back nights the boys would be playing. This one, Valentine's Day, boys basketball in Pine Island. It was a Hiawatha Valley League matchup. Tigers hit 9 3-pointers in this game, would win by 23. 23, Stewartville 78, Pine Island 55. Parker Wangen, are you kidding me? This kid was deadly from outside. The sophomore has been one of the most impressive athletes, not just basketball players, athletes this year, and I think he's putting himself as front runner for Breakthrough Athlete of the Year. We always knew that he was going to be a special talent. Well, he's showing it this year that everybody was right in Stewartville. Parker Wangen, 17 points, hit 5 from downtown. Henry Cheddar had 19. He had 1 3-pointer. Tegan Malone had 6 points. Jason Schindler, 7 points. Aiden Helder had 6. Bancroft had 6. Barnes had 5. Caleb Jansen and Ian Hoot had 4 each. Thursday, February 16th is where we're at next. Wrestling team section started out. Stewartville versus LARP. This one was being hosted at Zumbrota Mazeppa. The winner of that duel would then take on Zumbrota Mazeppa to see who would advance in the team section. Stewartville, Lewiston, Altura, Rushford, Peterson is what LARP stands for. This one was incredibly tight. I'll just say the opposing team, because I don't want to keep saying LARP, but the opposing team won at 106 and 113 pounds, so they would take a 12-0 lead. Then at 120 pounds, Hunter Karnitz came up big. He got a pin. We need that. 16 points for him. Reed Rinn would get the forfeit at 126 pounds. Then at 132 pounds, we would lose that match. So now we were down 18-12. Jace DeYoung comes back, gets a forfeit at 138. All locked up at 18. At 145, Lucas Larson would get a tech fall. That was worth 15 points. 16-1 was the score for Larson. That would make it 23-18 Tigers. We would lose the 152-pound match, but in overtime, in sudden victory, won 8-6. So now it's 23-21, but Stewartville still ahead. At 160 pounds, we would lose that one by fall. So now the opposing team would be ahead 27-23. Tanner Elzen came up huge at 170 pounds. It says here that he got the pin in 11 seconds. Is that right? 11 seconds? That means Stewartville took the lead 29-27. Lincoln Doobie at 182 pounds pinned him with only 2 seconds remaining in the first period. It was now 35-27 Stewartville. Anthony Nelson, you heard him come up big in that triangular I was talking about earlier. Well, he came up huge this time too. He pinned him in 1 minute 13 seconds and made it 41-27, which put it out of reach with only 2 matches to go. It didn't matter. 41-27. The other team would win the next 2. One by forfeit, one by pin. So they would get 12 points, but the Stewartville Tigers would move on to the next round of section wrestling with a 41-39 win. We would take on Zumbrota Mazeppa, who has one of the top wrestling programs in not only southeastern Minnesota, probably the entire state. We would only get 1 win. It was Reed Rinn at 126 pounds. He had a major decision, 10-1 in Stewartville. Unfortunately, for the team, they would end the season. This one is Zumbrota Mazeppa would win 69-4. They would look to individual sections, which I believe is upcoming. That takes us to girls basketball Thursday night at Cassimanorville. I was surprised we played in the small gym, but I saw that they had wrestling in the big gym, so that's why we got taken to the small gym. But still, great atmosphere. It's a little bit smaller gym, but it does the job. Cassimanorville has such beautiful facilities between their 3 schools, so I don't think it's ever a bad thing to play in Cassimanorville. It was tight very early. It was 5-5. Cassimanorville was coming out saying, hey, we're going to try to compete with you. Lady Tigers ranked in the top 5 for the state, but then Stewartville went on a 31-6 run, but Cassimanorville started coming back. The gap was 18 at halftime. Stewartville jumped out early in the second half, and it never got to within 20 points after we made our first basket after 20 seconds. We ended up winning this one by 30, actually. 78-48 was the final score. We shot 45% for the field. We had 20 team assists. That's just incredible. Every time that we're able to do that, it seems like that lead just grows and grows when we share the ball. We forced 26 turnovers. We had a plus 12 margin in that category, which is awesome. It was actually the thing I was most impressed of. All the blocks that we had. We were swatting everything. Every time that we turned around, it seemed like somebody else was getting swatted for the Comets, and I get pumped for those. Just like volleyball, big blocks. Love to see that. Just don't foul. I don't want to get in foul trouble. But so many Tigers getting involved with blocks. 6 different girls combined for 11 blocks. Rath and Strum had 3 each. Avery Spencer had 2. Martinson, Audrey Schindler, and Keely Steele each had 1 as well. I was sitting next to my guy, Frank the Tank. You heard me talk about Frank the Tank. I don't know if it was Twizzlers or Red Vines or what kind of licorice he was giving her. But whatever licorice he just gave to his granddaughter, Haley Strum, give it to her before every game because it ignited the superpowers for our senior Strum. She went off, I'm telling you. She only missed 1 shot the entire night from the field. 9 of 10 from the field. A perfect 3 of 3 from three-point land. 23 points. Just give her a whole bag of Twizzlers, Frank. Love to see that. Strum, I don't know if it was that. There was another thing I saw. I think Keely Steele, early in the game, collided with Strum, hit her upside the head. I don't know, maybe she knocked that aim perfectly in line because Strum didn't miss. It was fun to watch, let me tell you. She put us out in front, and we never looked back. Audrey Schindler, she had a good night. 11 points for the freshman. Savannah and Dean, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 assists. Avery Spencer, she looked fantastic. 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and she had a block for the ages. Let me tell you, if that doesn't end up on the end of the season highlight reel for Coach Liffrick, I don't know what he's doing. I really don't know what he's doing. Keely Steele, 8 points, led the team in steals, spelled with 3 E's, steals. She had 6. She tied for the team lead in assists with 6. And just let you know, 6 is my favorite number. So thank you, Keely, for lining all those 6s up. I love it. JC Rath, 7 points, also dished out 6 assists, had 7 rebounds and 3 huge blocks. Like I said, Rath can do everything. We don't need 25 points from her. What we need is exactly this. We need the 7 or 8 points. We get the assists that she's got such good court vision, the rebounding. Ella Theobald, I told Bernie and Amy on the way out, I don't think she gets the respect she deserves. Ella does, for the amount of abuse she takes down low, just trying to work for us between battling on defense, fronting, backside help, rebounding, help defense. I mean, just outstanding. Ella Theobald finished her night 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. But again, led our team in rebounds, and the way that she's able to, she was running the floor too. I don't know if she was getting steals or they were rebounds, but she was running like a point guard. So, I mean, come on here. We got like a couple 6-foot point guards on our team. Love to see that. So the girls beat Cassimanorville. Before I go on, I do want to take my hat off to Coach Haraldson. I know that the Comets have, lost their best player, Abby Schubert, to a knee injury, but, for him to continue to give that energy and to continue to put that into the Comets and try to really help them to fight through adversity and keep pushing them. But really what I want to say is that I've talked about it before, that character is shown in times when things aren't going well, but when they're kind of not going your way. And you talk about the sportsmanship. I think Cassimanorville and Stewartville has a pretty good rivalry, and I truly do believe that rivalry is built on respect. I know that a lot of us in Tiger Nation respect Cassimanorville, talking about football or basketball, softball, baseball, all the sports that they have there. Obviously, we respect their wrestling squad. But the way that they go about it, I saw it probably more times than I've ever seen before, the amount of Cassimanorville girls willing to help our girls up after a collision going to the ground, and at every level too. I was watching the C team, the JV, and the varsity. So I just want to say big hats off to Coach Haraldson and his staff and his players at Cassimanorville for showing that sportsmanship, showing that you can play hard but still have that that attitude that I'm willing to help you up once the whistle blows, and do that. So I think that's just awesome to see, and I really think that's contagious. Then that makes our Tiger girls want to help them up, make sure that they're okay after they fall down, things like that. So really cool to see. I definitely love seeing that, and I hope we continue to encourage our players to do that. So great job to Coach Haraldson there in Cassimanorville. That puts us to Friday night, February 17th. It was girls basketball at home against Pine Island. It was senior night, so we got to celebrate some outstanding seniors: Haley Strum, Keely Steele, Avery Spencer, Hannah Martinson, Josie Cahoon, Claire Reuter, and then I know she wasn't there, but Emma Rowan. We were thinking about her. She was on a band trip to Florida, so could not be everywhere at once. Just an outstanding group of seniors. Stewartville, let's talk about the game first before we kind of cycle back to that. Stewartville was actually down 14-13 to Pine Island. Great job there by Coach Downey to bring his players out, and they were giving us everything they had. They were ahead by 1 with 10:38 to go, but then Stewartville absolutely flexed its muscles over the next one half. So like 18 minutes of game time between the last 10 minutes of the first half and the first 8 minutes of the second half. Stewartville went on a 47-8 run and put this one away early. It was 72-31 was ended up being the final score. The team shot 43% from the field. We forced 31 turnovers. When I say we, I mean the girls basketball team, because I didn't get any of those. 16 team assists. We won the rebounding battle by 12. 13 Lady Tigers scored in this game, 49 points from our seniors. So our seniors outscored Pine Island 49-31, which is great on senior night. That's what we wanted. And just a special night for all the seniors. But let me tell you, it was the Josie Cahoon show. You've heard Coach Liffrig talk about how special she is in terms of the energy that she provides on the bench, her and Emma Rowan, and the leadership that they're willing to accept their role on the team, bring that energy, cheer on their teammates. And she got a chance to be on the court. She started for us. She got a chance to get some shots up and have the spotlight on her. And boy, did she not disappoint. The girl had 11 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from downtown, a layup with a little razzle dazzle, if I can say that. I slowed it down in that highlight clip because it was fun to watch, and I love to see the reaction from her benchmates as she made that, and they were all crazy. You saw JC Rath's hands on her head like, are you kidding me? You just made that? But 11 points by Josie Cahoon, 1 steal, 1 assist. Haley Strum, she had 18 points in that first half. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. They shut her down early. Avery Spencer was fantastic, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals. Keely Steele had 5 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. Hannah Martinson, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Claire Reuter, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. And it was just great to see the seniors be able to play so much one more time. You know, they've been growing up together through SYBA. One final night in Tiger Nation that they could all go out there, got a lot of minutes. So hats off to Coach Liffrick for providing them that opportunity, for allowing them to showcase, and great words of support, of thanks that their teammates gave to him before the game. I know, plenty of other Tigers contributed. Rath and Theobald combined for 11 rebounds. Schindler had 3 steals, but I really wanted to kind of highlight the seniors on senior night and what they contributed. And just, it was really cool also to see the underclassmen on the bench and how supportive they were for the seniors, kind of allowing them to shine on the court and play together that one last time. And they deserve it. The seniors deserve it, because when I think about this group and you think about these seniors and the leadership they provide, not only on the court but off the court, I've heard many stories. When you look at our roster, we do have some young players that are extremely talented. I talk about it, that those 3 freshmen are probably the 3 most talented and skilled freshmen that we're going to see together for several years for sure, between Schindler, Rath, and Theobald. And they played on varsity as 8th graders. And these girls like Spencer and Steele and Strum and Rowan and Cahoon, and Martinson, the way that they've accepted these girls and kind of brought them in and showed them the ropes and supported them and cheered them on, even if they were having tough games, like, hey, we got you, keep it going, because they know that that's the future of the program. So what I love about this senior class is the way that they supported these girls, because for 2 reasons. One, that's the future of this program, and the goal should always be leaving the program better than you found it. This senior class is one of the most successful classes. I know Maya Peterson's class was pretty successful too, one of the most successful senior classes in the history of Tiger Nation. But really, the mark that they leave, they showed the way for the future. These freshmen are now going to become, the next generation that are going to have to look down to, the 8th, the 7th, the 6th grade classes that are coming up behind them. And hopefully when Schindler and Rath and Theobald hit that junior and senior year, they remember how these girls treated them, because behind them are some girls that hopefully will be able to contribute, and they'll be able to show them the way and just continue to pass it on and pass that tradition. And that old saying, tradition never graduates. And I just love the mark that these seniors have left on what they've done to bring this team together, whether they played on the court, whether they supported from the bench. That's what I'll remember about this class. Really, really good class, and we'll definitely miss them. But luckily, we have them for a few more weeks. Speaking of which, what's coming up this week? Well, snow looks to be in the forecast, so there's some schedule juggling around. We'll see what games actually get played. Tuesday night, boys basketball is at home against Cannon Falls. The underclass girls game, everybody from 7th grade to JV will be playing that night too. They were supposed to play Thursday, but it got moved because of the snowstorm to Tuesday night, and we'll see how that works. I don't know why they didn't move varsity. I'm sure they had a good reason, which brings me to girls varsity right now is scheduled for Thursday night. It sounds like if the snow derails those plans, that girls basketball might play right before boys basketball, which is on Friday, so kind of do a girls boys doubleheader varsity action all in Byron. So that would be interesting if that happened. Last thing I want to talk about is grade state is this Saturday and Sunday for our girls teams. They're all over the place. I think SYBA does just a terrific job. Bernie Theobald and his board have really created this outstanding opportunity for girls and boys from grades 3 through 8 to be able to play this traveling basketball, to have these opportunities to go to different tournaments. And the end of the year is kind of the Super Bowl, not because we want to put any pressure on the girls that you have to win tournaments or this or that, but just one last time that you all get to play together, and then they do a great job at the team hotel. A lot of Stewartville people there. I know last year was the first time that we were able to experience that, being at the team hotel, and it was really cool to see all the other teams, hear how they were doing, the pizza party they put on, the swimming together. So really just want to thank SYBA. I want to thank all the coaches. So not only thank SYBA and the board and the amount of hours and fundraising and scheduling and everything that they do, and to do it at such a reasonable cost because of how much effort they put into that. I can't thank them enough. I also want to thank the amazing coaches that we have. All the teams, boys, girls, grades 3 through 8, they volunteer so much of their time. And what I realized last year helping out with Natalie's team, it's not just the time that you put in during practice or during the games. You're having all the hours that you're trying to put together, what practice plans you want to do, what you want to work on, what you want to teach the kids. You put together, substitution patterns so that you try to make sure everybody gets the same amount of, you do the best you can with playing time. I know that keeps a lot of coaches up at night, that they're trying to do the best they can. It's much harder than people people think. So I do want to say thank you from our family, from a lot of Tiger Nation. Thank you for what you do volunteering. They don't get paid volunteering to, try to help build our program, give these kids a great experience. One last thing I want to touch on, and I know it's been talked about here and there. Actually, an opposing team brought it up. It was an opposing team that played one of our 6th grade teams, and they also played our 7th grade girls team. We have an outstanding 6th grade group, the higher levels, and very, very talented group, and there's no denying that. Well, the parent had asked, do you think the 6th grade girls could beat the 7th grade girls or the 8th grade girls? And I kind of when I thought about the question, and I know that maybe others have asked, I just shrug, because I don't even think about that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because eventually, there's some people that try, and we're going on a tangent here, obviously. There's some people that try to create this competitiveness, right? Like, we're going to pit the 6th grade up against the 7th grade, or the 7th grade against the 8th grade, or whatever, like create this division. I'm not for that at all, because eventually we're all going to be on the same team, right? So when I grew up, we had 4 schools that combined to go to our one school. And there was all this division between these 4 schools, not understanding that at one point everybody's going to have to play together. So don't push the rivalry. Don't push. It's okay to go out on the court and compete, but off the court, hey, let's try to come together. Let's try. And what happened throughout high school is there was always that division between the 4 schools. Everybody was always in competition with each other, even though we were on the same team in high school. We all represented one team. The same thing's going to happen with the 6th grade, with the 7th grade, with the 8th grade, with the current 9th grade. Those will be the 4. I don't know about everybody else, but I want them to be good. I want the 6th grade to be good. I want the 7th grade to be good. I want the 8th grade to be good. Because you know why? Because all the sports that I follow, that our girls play, that my girls play, basketball needs at least 5. If not, if you look at our team, 10 would be nice. Really good players. I look at volleyball that Brooklyn plays. 6 for sure. You need 6 good players. If not 7, 8, 9 players. And then Brooklyn and Natalie play softball. Natalie plays soccer. That's 9, 10 people on the field at a time. So, yes, I am happy that Clara Theobald is outstanding. I'm happy if Morgan Arndt or Ella Spencer do a great job. I want that. I want Cameron Clark and, the girls in 6th grade to be good. So when people put this competition, are they better than 7th grade or this or that? I don't really care. I want them to be good. I want 7th grade to be good, because eventually they're all going to play together and they're only going to benefit each other. So if there is a small portion of people trying to push that narrative, I don't know where they're coming from, because I want them to do well. We are huge Clara Theobald fans in our. I said I wouldn't talk about younger players. We are huge Clara Theobald fans in this house. Between Crystal and me and the 2 girls, love Clara Theobald. So guess what? Yes, we want her to be. We are happy she's a stud, because Brooklyn and Natalie may play with her at some point, and it would be nice to play with a stud like that. Okay, it's one of those things that you teach your girls. Sometimes you aren't always the best player on whatever team you play on. You fill your role, whatever that role is. If it's rebounding, if it's defense, if it's in softball, catching or shortstop, or maybe you're on the bench cheering them on, whatever, courtesy runner, whatever it is, fulfill that role. And be excited for your teammates' success. That's what we want. We want our girls to be excited when Danica Schindler has a great game, or when Sydney Clark is outstanding, or whatever. We want them to be excited. And so that's what the message that we deliver to them. So thinking about Great State and what's coming, for us, no competition. We want every Stewartville team to win every single game. I am cheering against nobody, just to let you know. And so I just want to put that out there to all the teams competing in Great State. I wish you the best of luck. I hope Stewartville brings it home. I hope every team wins every game in every bracket, regardless of what tier you are, because it's only good for Tiger Nation. And that's what this is all about. So I just wanted to say that, and I'm excited for all the success that hopefully Tiger Nation experiences in the future. Whoever brings it will be cheering you on. I think that's it. Sorry about a long tangent there, but I hope you feel the same way as I do. I'm really passionate about that, and I hope all those girls know, here at least in the Peterson household, we're cheering you on. We are cheering you on. We hope you do a great job, and we will celebrate you when you succeed, and we'll be there, when you have your challenges, and pick you up telling you, hey, you got the next one. That's just the way that I hope we all can roll. that's Tiger Nation, the movement that we've tried to build these last 5 years. And hopefully we can continue to do that, not only for our own team, but then show the sportsmanship and respect for other teams while we play them in great state to shade. So, parents, whoever, players, coaches, represent us in a good way so that they can say, hey, yeah, Stewartville, they bring a lot of good players, but good people too. They were picking us up after we fell over. They played hard, but they had good sportsmanship. Let's try to create that, right? We want Stewartville to not only be respected for the skills that we bring, but the sportsmanship and the attitude that we do as well. That's the last thing I wanted to talk about. I'm excited for grade state. Thank you to everybody that helps us out throughout the year in all youth sports, whether it's SYBA, whether it's soccer, whether it's Rebels softball, whatever you do, anybody that contributes to youth sports and the opportunity that you provide for our kids, whether they play varsity or not, you're giving them experiences that they have so much fun doing. And I just want to say thank you to all of you, because I know almost everybody does it out of volunteering and the kindness of your heart, and it's for the kids, which hopefully that's always the focus. That's what I got for you here. I think that'll do it. I'll try to keep on top of it. I'm excited. Hopefully the next time I bring this to you, we'll wrap up the last couple games for basketball and then give you a section breakdown for our boys and girls basketball. That is what I'll try to do. We are very busy, but I'm going to try to stay on top of it. I apologize for that 2-week delay between episode 26 and 27. That's all I got for you here. Episode number 27 in season number 5 is in the books. Until next time, remember that you're never wrong to do the right thing. Take care, Tiger Nation.